everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for also subscribing too. I notice a lot of the viewers are mainly related to Pokemon and I guess Pokemon investing. So today we'll chat about that. You know, I've been thinking about this lately about how we can approach Pokemon investing, and there is no right way. And yes, you're gonna see some YouTubers who are talking about their way, trying to make you FOMO, or they try to scare you with this crash or buy now, sell now, whatever it is. Try not to listen to all that because it makes an influence on yourself also, and it creates this like stress and this emotion. The one thing about investing, we don't want a panic sale. If you're a true investor, you're always buying when it's down and when it's up. And I get that concept now after 4 months of investing in my brokerage account. And of course, with this knowledge of long term investing, I see myself being a passive long term investor within Pokemon and within my brokerage account because over time, things are just going to compound. So I notice people can invest in Pokemon in different routes with just sealed products, with just cards themselves, buying binder collections, buying lots, and then flipping them for quick sales. There are people who just collect, who are just into PSA 10s, or they buy PSA 9s and regrade them. And that I'm not familiar with, but for me, it's just primarily sealed products. So after 2.5 years of collecting, I noticed how my collection just started to grow since then. And back then, I wish I kept track of the data. I didn't look at any data either. I just looked at market price for the most part, and I cared about just what's cheap or what's retail. So, number one, I would say, is kind of define what kind of investor are you. Do you want to be a quick, short-term investor looking for the retail price and then selling it right away for market price? Or do you want to approach it from long term? Hold it for several years because there are a lot of investors, collectors who are just going in and out of this hobby. For me, I was like that, I would say. Last year I didn't really collect that much. I bought maybe 2 or 3 things last year. Yeah, I bought the Sea and Sky collections and I regret opening them. But now I see myself just as a long-term investor. So that is what I'm comfortable with because Pokemon for me is just part-time. I don't want to be thinking about this daily, and I don't want to deal with the stress. I don't want to camp at GameStop with everyone else. I don't want to wait at Target, but I am checking Target about once a week on the restocks and just trying my luck there. And it's out of convenience. It's on the way going to work, it's on the way going home. So once a week, I am trying, and it's something just recent. Because when I got into the hobby in 2023, not once did I go to Target and buy any products or my game store, local game store. I bought everything online. I believe through TCG Player, Walmart.com, and Amazon, and Target also. Everything online was mainly available, and yes, eventually it will be out of stock. So it was a nice time then. Second is keep track of the data, no matter what, I would say. So we do have apps. Back then, I wasn't using any app whatsoever. So now I'm using the Collector app, which looks like this. I'm also tracking through Shiny and Poke Data, and those are just strictly for my sealed products that I have with me now. And then I do need to pick up some other products, which I will input once I get them and once they also arrive through shipping. So data does not lie, right? If you're looking at investing, you want to see past performances like a year ago, and if you can get data from 3 or 5 years ago for that product, so be it. But if you're more of a modern collector, you do want to assess, you know, what is available right now. Do I want to spend market price on Black Bolt, White Flare, or should I be going with Prismatic Evolutions or Destined Rivals? That's something that you need to consider for yourself. For me, I haven't bought any Black Bolt or White Flare because it's not available to me, and right now I don't want to pay market price. I'm happy with retail, and I already spent well above my budget in June and July. So I'm buying just smaller things right now. And that's the thing, right, about collecting, investing. You can invest in either set, and eventually it's going to move in price. In terms of volatility or how much it appreciates, that's something we cannot predict. But looking with the data we have right now, with, let's say, Journey Together, Surging Sparks, 151, Destined Rivals, we can see that Journey Together is very slowly, it's like at the bottom, I believe, out of what I just mentioned. So I would rather buy 151 or Surging Sparks, Destined Rivals, or Prismatic Evolutions. Also, for that data, you can look at it, and even if it stays steady or it's going down, that is great. You want to buy it as it's steady or when the price is down on the dip, because eventually just one day it's going to spike up. It's going to go up, and it may take 1 year, it may take 2 years, it may take 3 years. But as an investor, you're holding on to it. You're not losing. You only lose when you sell. And you're only losing if you sell it for the same price you got it for. So just be patient with it, and just make sure the product is protected, whatever you're holding on to. Surging Sparks, like this one, I got this for retail. The only thing I got at Punko One Center. Got this for about $65, let's say, after tax. I was considering selling it. I'm glad I didn't, because it's slowly just picking up. Right now, I believe it's back to like $200 to 210 maybe. April of this year, it was at its peak also around April. Yeah, it was around almost $200. And I was considering on selling it just for a quick sale, but I don't want to be like, I don't want to be thinking about this 5 years later when I see Surging Sparks again and tell myself, wow, I sold that for $100 more just for profit. Whereas 5 years from now, who knows what this might be, right? It could be $500 or $1,000. And how many of us are this person, or seen this person, or seen it in the comments where they say, I wish I didn't sell this for this price, or I wish I didn't sell Evolving Skies for $100. I wish I didn't sell Evolving Skies for $500, right? The power of patience is essential as an investor. So I'm learning that as well. So after 2.5 years, I bought this early in the collection, right? This has finally started to go up for me. This is pushing around $165 to $170. I got this for $53. And yes, that is over retail, but that was in 2023, and I think that box came out maybe 2022. No, 2021, I believe. Got this at the time $120. Really like this. Maybe you guys can tell me if this ever came sealed or was sold sealed, because obviously there's no seal on mine. And on openings, I've seen people rip a seal, and the seller didn't tell me or disclose that to me at the time, and oh well, so be it. But I bought it because it was really cute. I bought it for this card, really. This card too, I bought this for about $50, and now it's the most expensive card in my collection. Almost $200 right now. And it's just a matter of time. Just being patient is all you need to practice. And for me, trust me, it is absolutely hard. I think in the moment, I think of just now, and hence why I didn't have a savings account, where I didn't have a savings plan. I didn't follow a budget. And I'm really glad to be an investor, whether it's Pokemon or in my brokerage account, because it's making me think of also now, also next year, and my future self. So I'm planning for all of that, and I can already feel like I'm more confident with where I'm going to be next year. My portfolio with this collection, it's going to be, let's say, $10,000 into 2026. That's just my guess. It could be more, it could be slightly less, but naturally it's going to accumulate with more items, as well as things age. Age is such a great thing. It's just like wine. So the third thing, yes, just practice being patient. Try not to listen too much to all these YouTubers and letting them influence you to buy or panic sale and regret a sale, right? Especially if things are just picking up as things are bullish. Um, Another thing about just being patient is try not to check your app too daily. That doesn't help, especially as a long term investor. Um, my friend was telling me that too because he didn't collect Pokemon, but he was investing and he had hundreds of thousands of dollars in his account. And I mean, it could be a few million since he has 5 decades of investing. And he's told me he's seen his numbers, his account go down to maybe half a million, right? That's quite a lot of money. But this is during COVID. This is even back in April when we had that tariff thing. Even now, we have this tariff thing too in effect. So it's a good time to buy uh, at the dip and as it lowers for dollar cost averaging. But he was telling me just to prevent like stress, don't check it. You're going to be fine. The market will eventually go back up. And that's what I love about Pokemon. It has almost 30 years of data now. And even as new collectors get into it, new investors, we can get things for modern. With modern, we can get things for vintage. It just varies on your equity, what you have for your margin in the beginning, your cost basis. So, with all this in mind, of course, if I can do this all over again, I would have done it with more intention and spend a lot more money. Yes, I would have bought several $1,000s. I would have bought cases of Evolving Skies and um, everything Sword and Shield set at the time because there are people who got Sword and Shield sets for, let's say, Evolving Skies cases for about $600. And I just couldn't fathom at the time, nor did I have this knowledge. So, just some things, some tips for you guys. And if you are new to investing, or you've been investing longer than you've been collecting longer than any other tips that you can share with me and share with the community? So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in another video. All right, just take it one day at a time, everybody, and just have fun with it.